today's video, I will be talking about freeing yourself from self-pity, escaping the pity party. Now, before we can become free of something, we have to know what it is, what it means, how can I identify it, knowing the effects of it, and also how to overcome it, right? Now, self-pity. Self-pity is excessive self-absorbed unhappiness over one's own trouble. It is also classified as an emotion that is directed towards others with the goal of attracting empathy whilst feeling sorry for oneself. Now, let me just say this, that in life we face a lot of disappointments, hurts. For some persons it's abuse, whether it be domestic violence, child abuse, mentally, physically, and even emotional abuse. It happens, okay? And for some of the disappointments, it comes from families, it comes from friends. Probably it's a employer that you had, a job that you have. Basically, individuals we look up to are expected to be there or was supposed to be there for us, but they weren't. And the truth of the matter is, it hurts. We have to face the facts. It really hurts. It really scars us. It can really scar a person. It damages self-esteem and it damages self-confidence. And it also affects the way that we look at life. The point of view that we take in life, it affects that. And it affects how we see people on a whole. We tend to go in a shell, become socially distant and socially awkward, right? And what this does, it causes us to become blind to help. We think everyone is out to get us, everyone is out to hurt us, and so what it starts to do in a person, it tends to develop a certain level of anger and rejection and even resentment within persons. And over a period of time, if we don't deal with this, it causes us to fall into self-pity. Now, we have to note this, that self-pity begins with just a thought, just one thought. Because what happens is, when we focus on everything that is going wrong in our lives, when we focus on everything that went wrong in our lives in the past, your thoughts now become exaggeratedly negative automatically, because continually dwelling on what happened to you, who hurt you, who walked out on you. That's what happened. And those negative thoughts, they start to affect your behavior. They start to affect us, if and when we continually dwell on them. Because the combination of negative thinking and inactivity basically fuels further self-pity, right? Now, okay, we know that different things causes us to fall into self-pity, right? It can come from persons doing you something wrong, persons that have wronged you. And secondly, it can be that you have done something wrong, but you refuse to face that wrong. So, you fall in self-pity and get others to feel sorry for you as well, while feeling sorry for yourself. Now, how do we identify self-pity? You may be asking. One of the ways, for one, in identifying self-pity, whether it be in you or you can identify it in other persons, for one, is when you use your past to justify your present wrongs at all times. So, if someone corrects you, whether it be your boss, a family member, your spouse, whoever, and instead of accepting your wrong, you lash out. Persons that are in self-pity, they tend to lash out easily and regularly, right? And they use this excuse that, because this happened to me when I was younger, I always do this. Because this person didn't walk out on me, because my mother never did it, because I was abused, I keep on doing this. So, they use their past to justify their present wrongs. Number two, they cry for everything. And let me just say this. Not every cry means self-pity, because we're human beings. We cry, we feel emotions, all of that. But when you find yourself crying uncontrollably. You cry for everything. If someone corrects you, you cry. If someone barely talks to you, you cry. And it doesn't have to be someone talking to you. You can just be there, even in a space by yourself, and you get so deep in your thoughts that you start to become oppressed because your thoughts carrying you back on the negative things, the hurt and all of that, and you just start crying. So you basically hide behind the tears. If somebody talks to you about something, you start break down and cry. You hide behind the tears so they can't get to deal with the issue, right? And you try to pull others in crying and hiding behind the tears. Believe it or not, you pull others to feel sorry for you instead of facing the matter and dealing with it, right? Number 3, you keep talking about what happened to you. Now, as I said, we all face disappointments in life. Some persons, it is more extreme than others, right? I know that there are a lot of persons out there that have been molested, a lot of women out there that have been in domestic violence, a lot of teenagers and young adults. You didn't have your father, you didn't have your mother. We know that. I know that. And as I said earlier, it hurts. But identify that you're in self-pity if you keep talking about it. And it's different from when you talk about it to get help. I totally understand that. But when you talk about it repeatedly, over and over, in a way of craving for sympathy, craving for someone to comfort you, craving, for people to feel sorry for you, whilst you are feeling sorry for yourself, it is also a sign of self-pity. A next way to identify it is blaming others for your wrongs, and that is self-explanatory. Number 5, persons who indulge in pity party or throw pity party regularly, they tend to be an individualist. These type of persons keep themselves separated and independent of friends, families, and even persons that are around you. So you tend to isolate yourself from persons that not even did you anything wrong. They haven't done you any harm. They don't intend to. You just isolate yourself, and it becomes so automatic the more that you do it. So these persons, as I said, tend to be individualist. Another way to identify a person in self-pity is you are past orientated. Those persons are past orientated. So you keep thinking and talking about the past, as I said earlier, because self-pity is extricably linked to past focus mindset that dwells on past events. So all that your mind is set on is the past hurts, past events, whatever it may be, but you set your mind on the past, right? And one of the final ways that I will highlight of identifying self-pity, which is a major symptom, is low self-esteem. This one is major. It affects us so deeply, right? Because self-esteem, now you crave acceptance and affection of others to feel better about yourself. In return, you start feeling as if you don't deserve love, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, right? So self-esteem is also a way of low self-esteem is also a way of identifying self-pity. Now, in all of this, identifying it really affects us. One of the effects that self-pity takes on a person is it impedes the progress we make in life, right? A quote from Helen Keller, open quote, she says, "Self-pity is one of our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world," close quote. And she has a point, because if your mind is constantly on where you have been, on the past, things that happen, even sometimes it's not things that happened yesterday or last week, sometimes it's years ago, it's months ago. If your mind is constantly there, then you become less productive. Instead of your mind thinking, okay, what can I do now to be better? What can I achieve? What can I do? Putting your mind to productive things in which you can be successful. Instead, your mind is now being taken up and used up by your past, right? Another thing with self-pity is that you subconsciously feel guilty, because oftentimes self-pity is an unconscious way of avoiding taking responsibility for personal actions and decisions made in the past. We hide and make ourselves the victims, and this one goes for persons who they are the ones that have done the wrong but refuse to accept the responsibility, and they make themselves a victim and fall into self-pity. So you can be out with a friend, with groups of friends, family, and no matter how peaceful the place is, no matter how much laughter is around in the atmosphere, everyone is laughing and talking, deep down you just have this subconscious guilty feeling. That is also a sign of self-pity. Now that I've pointed out what self-pity is and identified some of the ways now that we can overcome self-pity, the ways that we can free ourselves from it, because we all experience it, but we want to become free. And in order to become free, these are some of the things that we have to take into practice in order to overcome self-pity. The first one is to ask God for help. Now listen, God, the creator of heaven and earth, he never fails. He's all knowing, he's all seeing. If God can't fix it, nobody can fix it. And we all know that God can fix everything, right? He never fails. Ask God for help. Tell him what's going on. Give him everything that has happened to you, all the hurt. Give it to him. Tell him about it. Ask him to help you to heal, right? Number 2, you have to forgive. Growing up, we hear this all the time. You must forgive, you must forgive and let go and all of that. But trust me, it is vital to forgive. Forgive who hurt you. Forgive who walk out on you. Forgive who disappoint you. Forgive the boss that you had will fire you. Forgive them all. Forgive all who have hurt you. I'm talking about the persons that, for the individuals specifically, that persons have wronged you or hurt you, abused you, molested you, walked out on you, whatever it is, forgive them, right? Because let me give you a visual representation of what happens when you don't forgive. So it's like someone take a knife and stab you, right? They stab you with a knife. But when you hold on to the knife, you're holding the knife in place, wherever they have stabbed you. That is what unforgiveness looks like. The area in which they stabbed you, it cannot be healed if you don't pull out the knife. It cannot be healed if you're holding the knife in place. So forgiving them is removing the knife from out of where they have stabbed you, allowing the area to heal. That's the only way it can heal. If you don't remove the knife, if you don't forgive, if you don't let it go, it cannot heal. It won't be healed. So in order to heal from the hurt, forgive. Pull out the knife. Let it go. Release them out of your heart, and just let it go. Also in forgiving, for those persons who you are the one that have done persons wrong, forgive yourself, right? If Father God in heaven, our creator, forgives us, we also should forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself for the wrong that you have done, and decide that, listen, I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to do better. I'm going to be better. Decide, make a decisive decision that I'm going to be better. I want to do better, right? And it's linked to the third point. Start taking responsibility for our actions, right? Yes, we've been hurt. Yes, we've been through the toughest of times, but we can't allow what has happened to us months ago, years ago, decades ago, to be controlling our actions now. We can't use that. We can't use that to cover everything. We can't continually use that to justify our wrongs. It won't work. And if we want to go places in life, if we want to be successful, if we want to be who God calls us to be, if we want to achieve anything in life, we have to let go. We have to take responsibility for our own actions and decisions, right? The next thing is become a person that genuinely wants better. You want to be better. As I was saying earlier in the video, that yes, things happen. Yes, you've done wrong. Yes, persons have wronged you. But decide that, listen, I want better. I want to be better. Ask yourself, how can I rise above what has happened to me? How can I rise above the disappointments? How can I rise above the hurt? Yes, I've done something wrong, but how can I be better? Yes, this person hurt me, but how can I elevate myself from that? Right? Next point, start showing gratitude. Listen, it is impossible, let me tell you, it is impossible to feel self-pity and gratitude at the same time. I'm telling you, because self-pity is about thinking, I deserve better, right? And on the other hand, gratitude is about thinking, I have more than I need. Recognizing all that you have to be grateful for in life, right down to the fresh air that you breathe, the clean drinking water that you have to drink, the roof over your head, the clothes on your back. When you start to operate in gratitude and being thankful, it shifts your mindset. It shifts your mindset. So yes, this happened, but I'm alive. This person walked out on me when I was younger, but God blessed me with other persons to love me that are around me. Be thankful, right? Another way is to be optimistic. Oh Lord. Shift your perceptions, right? Because when you feel sorry for yourself, you're likely to focus on the bad things in life while overlooking the good. And as we all hear the saying growing up, there's always a silver lining. Trust me, there is. So be optimistic. Try to see the good in life. Try to see the good in people, right? Regardless of your situation. Yes, you did lose a job there, but you're here. You're well fed. Be grateful. You're in a different job. Lord, thank you. Be thankful. Be grateful. So being optimistic and having gratitude, they're basically linked together, because once you see the good in every situation, you basically become thankful, right? Another way is to be helpful to others, right? Rather than ruminating on your own inconvenience, look, hunt, search for persons that you can help. There's always someone out there that wants help. There's always someone that's less fortunate. There's always someone that wish that they had what you had, wish that they were in your place and in your shoes. So yes, we've been hurt. Yes, we've experienced disappointment, but there are persons out there that are in worse situations, and we have to remember that even though we've been through things, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. It's the harsh reality. But for example, a person that have been molested. Yes, you've been molested, but there are persons that have been molested and they're not even alive today because whoever molested them decide that they're taking their life. It sounds harsh, but it's true. Some persons have been molested and they get children out of even that process of molestation. But probably you've been molested, you're not pregnant with any baby, right? And as I said, it's so harsh, but look for others to help. Ask yourself, what have been through in life, the disappointments and the hurts? Who is there that you can help? Being that you've been through it, you know what it feels like. Look for persons to help. Look for persons to elevate. Stretch out a hand. Stretch and give a helping hand. Help others, to rise above. Look for persons to help. There's always someone there to help. There's always someone there that's even looking for help, right? And in saying all of this, remember, pity in yourself won't take you where you want to go in life. Decide that you can be better. Decide that you want better. Decide that, listen, you see, despite of all that happened to me in life, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna get better and I'm gonna help others to be better, right? So put these into practice, and I am sure, without a doubt, without an ounce of doubt, that you will be able to overcome self-pity. You can rise above it. You can, and you will overcome it with the help of God. Just believe. Yeah.